Hi everyone, Emily here from Emily's Excellent Epics. And today I have for you, it's December 7th, so it's day 7 of my countdown of the top 25 books that I read in 2025. Yes, I know I'm not counting December. I'll count December for next year, okay? Um, so the rules on this, if you're new here, I could not repeat books in the same series. So if I read a series of books, I can only pick one book. I could repeat authors because I do have a repeat of an author, and no rereads. So I ended up rereading more at the end of the year with some read-alongs. But so those are the rules, and let's get to today's book, which is The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson. Now, this by no means, I forgot to add, books like 11 through 25, there is no real order to them. It's just books that, with the exception of the last book, these are just books that I thoroughly enjoyed. So, The Lost Metal is book 4 in Mistborn Era 2. So if you're not familiar with Mistborn and the Cosmere and Brandon Sanderson, Mistborn Era 1 kind of takes place in the medieval times or Middle Ages, and we follow a found family. They are Allomancers, yes. They're Allomancers. So the magic system is you ingest a liquid with like metal infused and you burn it, and that metal can give you specific abilities. Unless you're a Mistborn, and you can burn any and all metals and you can gain powers from all of those metals. And in Mistborn Era 1, there is an evil lord ruler who he has won the war. And he has been reigning on this planet for 1,000 years, and they want to take down the evil ruler. And all sorts of consequences from those actions unfold not only in Mistborn Era 1, but we get some consequences from Mistborn Era 1 into Mistborn Era 2. Mistborn Era 2 takes place in the Wild Wild West, and it very much has a different feel to Mistborn Era 1. Like book 1 of Mistborn Era 2 really truly reminded me of like a dime store Western novel. And it was just fun and campy. Brandon Sanderson plans on writing an Era 3, which will be set in modern times, and then an Era 4, which will be set in like space age. And in this book, we for sure are getting more industrialization and the implications of that for this world. So in this book, we follow Wax and Wayne. Sometimes Mistborn Era 2 is called Wax and Wayne. So Wax is a lord, but he also, at the start of Era 1, he also works as a sheriff and bringing in criminals. And Wayne is his trusty sidekick. And Wayne is just absolutely hilarious. So what I really liked about this book, there's a whole lot of tabbing going on. First of all, I love, so just how the tabs work on this book. Blue was just like anything related to just this fantasy world. Green was like stuff that I just loved, like moments that I loved in the book. And then orange were moments that I felt were social commentary or that could apply to today. Okay. That's how I worked on this tabbing. What I loved about this book, Wayne's character arc in this book is just top tier. And I mean, I loved Wayne before this book, and I fell in love with him even more in this book. I also really love Steris, who she is a character that, excuse me, had a role in book 1, but her role has been increasing more and more throughout the series. And Steris, at the beginning of the series, people are just kind of like, ugh, Steris. Like, and not necessarily readers, and maybe some readers, but for sure other characters in the books, their reactions to her is like, ugh, Steris. because Asteris is very much a rule follower, and she's got a plan for a plan for a plan. Like, if there's an event in the world, she's got a plan for how to respond to it. And then if that plan goes wrong, she's got a plan B. If plan B goes wrong, she's got a plan C. So like she's got a, for anything and everything, she's got a plan. And she really comes into her own, and her character is really just appreciated in this book. And I love that for her, because I've had supervisors kind of make fun of me for like I have a to-do list, and I would have a supervisor like, oh, your to-do list. I'm like, look, and I wanted to say, look, lady, I'm probably one of the most productive staff members here because I have a to-do list and I sit and check it off, and then I prioritize what I need to do on my to-do list. Like, it helps me be productive to have a list to see what it is I need to do, and then figure out what is the top priority, what is the second top priority, what's the third top priority for the day. So I very much love Steris. Now, here's a caveat with this series. As Brandon Sanderson has what's called a Cosmere. So his series, they're separate from each other, but as he kept publishing, they started becoming more and more interconnected. And we definitely see that in The Lost Metal. You do, like, there for sure is definitely crossover within this book to the Stormlight Archive, which is another massively long series. And so I read this book before or after Rhythm of War? I read this after Rhythm of War. From what I understand, you should read this before Wind and Truth, which is book 5 of Stormlight Archives. But do I recommend Brandon Sanderson? Absolutely. How I recommend reading him? I recommend reading him in publication order, because, as I've said, as things progress, the Easter eggs for other series become more and more prevalent. And so I think it just helps to read it that way. So thank you so much for watching. Since there was kind of like a train heist in one of the books in this series, if you're not sure what to comment, put a train emoji down below. If not, have you read any book that's like in a super really long series that you have thoroughly enjoyed? Thank you so much for watching. As always, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave a comment down below, leave an emoji. If you're not sure what to comment down below, leave a blue heart because the blue cover. Those things really do help the channel, and it's so greatly appreciated. Bye.